What's going on, guys? So for this video, I am going to be looking at a video from The View talking about if cancel culture has gone too far. Just off of that premise of that question, I think it has gone too far. People are getting canceled for things that were said like 10, 15 years ago, 9 years ago. Maybe they're a different person now, and no, they're still getting canceled. We've gotten to the point where we basically eat our own. So I think right off the bat, yeah, it's going a little too far. With that being said, let's get this started here.
This week, we talked about Gone with the Wind and the series Cops getting pulled off the air in the wake of protests, and the ripple effect seemingly continues. The first daughter, Ivanka, had her speech to college grads scrapped. The TV series Live PD has been canceled, and stars of Vanderpump Rules were fired over racist tweets, and lots of other folks are getting called out for their past actions. And are they victims of cancel culture, or are they victims of people are not going to accept this anymore? What do you think, Yvette?
Well, you know, first of all, I think the word victim is pushing it a little bit. I feel that sometimes when you're horrible, there's a comeuppance. There's this thing happening right now on Twitter. Amber Riley from Glee started this thing called #Unmutiny. There's also something by Jared Hill called #Everyday. And then the Broadway actors that are black and brown created #WeSeeYou. So there's all these people coming together saying enough is enough. And I think that what people forget is that no one is asking for better or more. We're asking for equal. We want to be able to go to work and get the same pay, have the same treatment. So anyone that is wretched and crazy, there's a comeuppance. And I think sometimes a comeuppance is very healing and very cleansing. So I support it.
Sonny, you say you feel this is a long time coming.
I do, because, you know, there should have always been zero tolerance for racially insensitive behavior at work, racism at work, systemic racism, implicit bias, all of these things. And I think for far too long, the folks who made the rules defined and diluted those terms. And those of us who experienced them didn't have a say in it. And so now I think what we're seeing is we have more of a say in it, and we're saying, no, these things are happening to us, and we won't stand for it anymore. And as Yvette said, you know, there needs to be accountability, not for what you're doing now, but for even things that you have done in the past.
But it depends, though. For those things that you did in the past, are you still doing those things now? If so, then okay, yeah, no, great, that's fine. Because if you have a history of doing something and you continuously do it and it's been leading on for quite some time, okay. If you've grown and learned from those comments that or things that you've done in the past and you're a better person of it now, then okay. I think we're just getting a little sensitive to everything. I think we get triggered by things that have happened so long ago. If it's in their nature to be that particular way, then fine. But if they're not that particular way, or they've grown and they've learned and they understand and they've done better, should you not also put that into play as well, right? We're just quickly canceling everything and everyone in basically just a warpath. I think we've gone overboard. It had good intentions, but it just has terrible execution.
I think that's okay, right? Because for far too long, people have hidden behind a certain amount of privilege, and I just don't think that that is fair to anybody. It's certainly not fair to them,
right?
That they haven't been held accountable.
Right. So, Megan, you think this could become a slippery slope if we're not careful?
Yeah, I think you got to take it by case basis, which is what I've been saying all week. There's a difference between obviously wanting the Confederate flag removed from NASCAR and then wanting Paw Patrol to be canceled. And I was actually one of these people that was disappointed that and Paw Patrol's a children's show that as dogs in different, you know, Whoopi, in different characters. One of the dogs is a police dog. And I think I was one of those people that was really sad when Live PD was canceled, and they do a lot of good work with helping to find missing young children. And I think I understand the comeuppance argument, and I understand there's definitely situations where you can't have any tolerance at all in any way. And then I think there are other situations where I just think in this moment, I want people to have more speech, more freedom to have important conversations. I don't want anyone to feel like we can't talk about uncomfortable things, because I think it's arguably how we can get into really dangerous positions. And I just think we need to take everything by a case-by-case basis. And each situation is different, and each situation can be more egregious and more hurtful and possibly less. Like I said, I just used the comparison between Paw Patrol and the Confederate flag. I don't think they're related at all.
They want to cancel Paw Patrol? Oh my god. We're just all sensitive. Just getting to the point of just sensitivity. This is ridiculous. You gotta be kidding me.
Right, and I have to say, you know, one of the things that I really want to see happen is, for me, part of the big problem is people not acknowledging what their eyes are showing them.
Right.
Like, I don't want to disband the police. I want the police to be better. But the only way I'm going to feel like the police can get better is if they can recognize really bad behavior. And if you say, here is the bad behavior, and yes, we see it, let's figure out how we can all get together and fix it. I don't want the baby thrown out with the bathwater. I don't want just random stuff. But you know, one of the things that I feel has happened is people started calling things PC that were actually practical and important to people. There were things you could not say, things you could not, you couldn't imply them to people because people didn't like it. And I think when all of that became so flexible and people said, well, that's PC and that's PC, it's like, no, I'm telling you how I want you to treat me. And I don't care that you don't like it. That's not my problem. Yep. I'm telling you what I need. And so if people start remembering and recognizing and understanding that you can't get away from the fact that we have an issue. And it is very clear that people have been, you know, pointed out. And, you know, we had corrections officers, you know, you shouldn't have to be worried about them. They're taking care of folks in jail. You got correction officers kneeling on somebody's neck to make fun of George Floyd. That's not what I want to see. I don't want to see officers shoving folks. That's not what officers are for. Officers are here to protect us, not soldier us. We're not in a war. People in this country, we are not in a war. We are all American citizens just trying to make the country better.
You just can't cancel everyone over every little thing. It depends on the situation, depends on the person. If it's someone that's doing something egregious now, okay, a little bit different. If it's something that they said 20 years ago and they are a much better person now than they were 20 years ago, are you really going to cancel them? We can't be sensitive to everything. That's all I'm saying. You can't be sensitive to every little thing. I just think that we should not be quick to just be triggered and then just go on to an attack. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so already, hit a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time.